Hey guys, in this video I will show you how you can deploy your product, your website to to a domain that you bought, and then this way you can actually go to the domain name and you will see the website that you created using Lovable. Okay, so what you need to do first is you need to buy let me click this one. You need to buy a domain. So one option is to go to Namecheap. Okay, you go to Namecheap, you need to sign in, okay, or create an account if you don't have. There are other websites also, but Namecheap is okay. So once you're here, you'll see the websites that you have already bought. So I have some here, but in this case, if you want to buy a domain, you just go to domain name search and you start looking for a domain that you're interested to buy. I don't know, you can say my new cool app, and it's gonna tell you what options you have. Okay, so app.cool.com, whatever, and you can see €5 a year, €11, and you can add it. Basically, you can just, whatever you find and you're interested, you can just continue this, and you will buy and own this domain, usually for a year, and then it auto renews. Once you have it bought, all you need to do is come back to your Namecheap, not in here. Domain. Where is mine? Dashboard. Yeah, dashboard. Here you will see the domain lists. So here they would appear, and now it says it's active. I disabled auto renew. You can keep it active if you want to automatically have that website up and running in the next year. For example, this one expires on December 16. So now that you have the website, you have the domain, how would you deploy your website to this address, right? So then what you need to do is go to Lovable. Okay, so I created this app, just it's a sample app. And remember, here you can also publish, add a custom domain here, and then you can say connect to the you can actually buy a new domain from here also. Lovable allows you. The only problem is that you need to upgrade your plan to be able to do this, which could be costly, right? So you have to pay some money. If you don't want to go into this route, I don't know if then what happens that if you stop paying. I don't know if I think maybe your domain would stop working, so you have to keep paying monthly. I think so. I'm not sure, but you can do it differently as long as you have deployed to get GitHub. Remember, you can. I have another video that explains how to connect it with GitHub. All you need to do is have it on GitHub, and as long as this is the latest code, which it is, what you need to do is use another tool, which is called, if I remember correctly, not this one. It's called Netlify. Okay, so go to Netlify. This website allows you to push your websites to the web, and it becomes automatically. And what it does, it goes, you can point it to your GitHub, which is here, and you say, hey, the code is here, just take these and deploy it. And you can deploy it to anywhere you want, and in this case we're going to deploy it into the domain you bought. Okay, let me close this one. Then go to Netlify. You probably need to sign up, or you can also log in, and you can log in with GitHub. I don't know if you need to sign up, but you can use your GitHub account that you already have, and this is probably the simplest way. And you can see I already have some projects already here that are deploying automatically, and in this case we're going to create a new one. So I'm going to say project, add a new project, import an existing project. Okay, now you say GitHub. What we're gonna do, we're gonna point it to this guy. Okay, so I'm gonna say check, look for your organization, whatever you created. Here we're gonna look at, I think it's this one, DBZ C8. The only thing is that if I click now this one, by default, if you have a private repo, this guy wants money. One thing you can do is either pay them, or if you don't care about your code being public, which some people take it as a risk because maybe others will copy this code and create a similar app, up to you. But in this way, if that's not a problem for you, all you need to do is to go to the settings of your GitHub and change the visibility to public. Okay, make this public. Now your repository is public, as in people can see the code that you have here. Again, that could be risky, depends if you want it to be there or not. You can always put a disclaimer, not a disclaimer, a copyright here, and this way you will explain how your code should be used. So I think there are ways to guard against your app or your product in this case. But now the nice thing is that if I refresh this page and go to GitHub again, I'm gonna pick this guy, go to BCH, right? You can see now it's public. If you're public, then you can use it. And now I'm gonna just say, I don't know, my expense app. Okay, I think it, yeah, my expense, and you see that it says https my expense app.netlify.app. By default, it's going to deploy it here, so you can actually verify that it's been deployed, and you're going to also deploy it into your domain. Okay, project name is not available, so probably I have to do like another one. Someone has already used my expense app.netlify.com, and then you can probably leave everything else the same unless you've made some change where it's supposed to deploy. But this is just saying that, hey, I'm just take the thing here, the main parent folder, and nothing. I'm not going to use any base thing, and I'm just going to run this command, which by default should be, unless yours is a bit more specific, you should be fine. And then you can say deploy. Okay, what's going to happen is going to deploy your app from here using the configuration that we just saw. Remember this guys, or maybe where was it? I think it's this guy. Well, these things that you just configured where it's supposed to deploy, or what thing from this file, and it's gonna deploy. You see configuration, and if I go here, this is the one that you remember, Netlify.app, and I can see it's already working. But I mean, this is not what you wanted, right? You want it to be deployed into this guy, or a domain that you bought, right? So what we're gonna do here, we're gonna go to domain management, add a domain. You can again buy a domain here also if you want. Again, that probably makes it easy to connect, or you just add a domain you already own. But remember, this is the domain that you bought from Namecheap. Okay, I'm gonna come here, I'm just gonna put something random just for test. Okay, I think I tried this one and it exists and it's not used in app Netlify. You see it's found, but again, it's not mine. In this case, you would probably have to pay for it, so you can change something, which I'm gonna explain now. You say add domain. So in this case, you would put your domain, the one that you bought, and you say add domain, and you say this is pending DNS verification. DNS is basically saying it's the domain name server. So you need to say if someone writes amir2.com or your website, whatever it is .com, where it should be pointing to. And this is what we're gonna fix, because right now it's not pointing to anywhere. So what you need to do in this case, you will need to go back to your Namecheap. Again, for in your case, you will see amir2.com or whatever website you have here. You will see it here, and then you need to say manage. All you need to do is to go here in your name servers. By default, it should be using Namecheap web hosting DNS, I think, or basic, whatever. Change it to custom, and then you need to add these 4 values. I'm gonna include it in the also for you to copy paste. So you need to say custom DNS, add this 4. What it means that it's in this you're taking Namecheap, that you're using this custom DNS with these values. These values are owned by Netlify, and Netlify would know that it's this project, so it would show the deployed project when someone goes to your website, the domain that you bought. Okay, so it looks a bit complicated, but it's not. So add these, make sure you save. In this case I didn't do anything, but make sure you save this screen. You can always refresh and make sure that it's custom DNS and this 4. Once you do that, sometimes it takes some time, but sometimes it's could be immediate. All you need to do is say verify DNS configuration. In this case mine is failing because I don't own this one, but in your case, if you do this change and you do say DNS verification, it should say pass, and this would be a checked here. Then it's fine. Once you have it checked, then I think automatically it would deploy to the new website. You see this amir2.com right now. If I open it, it's not, right? Nothing would work, but in that case it will. As soon as you make the domain management work, you will see that it will be deployed here. The nice thing about having it not in Netlify is that as soon as you change anything here, and which will update this guy, this would immediately get updated. Which sometimes maybe it's not what you want. You can always disable it. But the nice thing is that you don't need to do much. You just change your things, and your real website gets automatically updated. That's all.